we're going to start by making the first panel. Start chaining the width that you want your bag to be. I will chain 45. Make sure to not do this too tight because you want to crochet the same tightness constantly. Once you're finished, do an extra chain, and there are two ways you can just go into the second one and just single crochet and continue until the end of the line. Another way is you can single crochet at the back instead of the front in these little bumps. I found that this way is better if you don't want things to stretch. Continue this until the end of the chain. Once you have reached the end of the row and chain 1, turn your work, do not go on the chain, go into this one, single crochet until the end of the row. Once you finish the row, chain 1 and go into this one. So don't go on your chains. And you're going to keep doing this. You're going to do heaps of rows. I finished my first panel and I did 35 rows. Now we'll be making the strap. I forgot to record the process of me making the strap, so I will make a small one just to show what I did. I used 2 yarns for my strap because these 2 are much thinner than my cream yarn. So what I did is I got any bag that I liked and fit where I wanted my shoulder, how big the gap was, and I kind of used my chain and I made sure it fit around what I wanted. I took that and doubled it, and I added a few more centimeters, and that's how I determined how long I want my chain. We'll start by chaining. For my strap I chained 200, which is 1 meter and 24 centimeters. You want it very long since it goes over your shoulder and can be folded in half. So to start making it, chain how long you want your strap to be. For my example, to just show what I did, I will just do 10. But if you guys chain as long as you want your strap to be. Once you have reached the length that you want your strap to be, chain an extra 1 and you can single crochet front, but I'll do the back because I find it makes it stronger, especially for the strap. I want it to not stretch, so I think it's better to do it from the back. When you are doing this, your strap will probably curl, but that is normal. It will become less curly the more rows that you do. In the last stitch that I just did, I did 1 and do 4 more. So you want 5 single crochets in your last stitch. Just single crochet along. Once you're finished end of your chain, chain 1, flip and do single crochets. Once you think you're finished, do 2 single crochets in the last stitch. And then single crochet in these on this side now. Once you've finished the end, you can chain 1 and do single crochets again, and you just keep doing that until it's as thick as you want. Once you like the thickness, just end it by doing slip stitches all around. To do that, go into one, this will make your strap stronger and less stretchy. I also want to show my strap. See, this has slip stitches. I'm pulling very hard, and this is with no slip stitches. It's much more stretchy. So I will do slip stitches on the side also. I will now start make the side of the bag. And depending on how thick you want this to be, depends on how many chains you're making. I want my bag to be able to fit this book. I will chain enough so then this would be able to fit inside. I recommend doing between 5 to 13 chains. You also want it to be big enough so then your strap will be able to fit in here. I'm going to single crochet at the back. You can do it at the front if you like, but I like the back because it'll stretch less. Into the row, chain 1, turn, and go into this one. Do not go on the chain. Once you're at the end, chain 1, once you have finished your 3rd row, chain 1, turn, do 1 single crochet. Now you want to leave room for your strap to go through. And now depending on how thick your strap is, you will have to leave that much room. I think my strap takes about 4 stitches and I have 8, so I can do 2 single crochets. Then I have to chain 4 because that's how much my strap will take up. Then I'll go into my 5th one, so you skip 4 and go into my 5th one, and I'll do 1 more single crochet, and then that's the end of row 4. And make sure your strap is able to go through. It should be easy for your strap to go in and out. Now, chain 1 and single crochet, with the chains I will just do 4 single crochets. And then go into these last 2. Chain 1, turn, and single crochet. So keep doing the same thing until you can go all around here and stop around here, because we will have to make another slot on the other side. So what I did is I pinned them, so then I know where to make my next slot. It's around here. I did 113 rows. So to make my next slot, I do the exact same thing, chain 1, turn, and I'll do 2 single crochets, and then I'll chain 4, and I'll go into my 7th stitch. So skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one. And 1 more, and I'll chain 1, flip, and go into every one, and just single crochet. And 1 more time. I might do 1 more. And I finish, and it fits. You can just cut that off. Now you can make your second panel. It's just the same as the first one. So you should have 2 of these, They're the exact same size. Once you have finished your second panel, don't cut it off. Chain 1, turn your work, and slip stitch, but only in the front loops. This means in the V, only one of these, and the one that's facing towards you. So what you do is only go into one of these and just do a slip stitch. Just do 2 more. You're going to do single crochets in the front loop only. Leave the last 3 stitches. Don't go into them. We're just going to start doing the same thing, chain and turn. Just normal single crochet. Leave the last 3. Now, you know the side strap, the side part that we made? I did 8, so I want to have 8 of these smaller rows. This is because the bag will be folded and you want to leave room for the top part. I done 1 row, this is my second, and I will do 6 more. Once I've finished my 8 rows, I will just keep continuing, except chain 1, turn, and for this row, you're going to do front loop only, so the one facing towards you. There's 2, go into the one facing towards you, and do normal single crochets. It's only this row, so the next row and all the ones after that will just be normal single crochets. The reason why I left this big gap is because the border will take a little bit, so it'll be a little bit thicker. Plus, your strap, when it's folded, it will take up a little bit of room. Once you've finished front looping only, turn, and you're basically going to repeat just single crocheting heaps of rows. And keep doing it all the way until you can fold this top part in half, and you want to have it probably around here because I want to have a little bit showing, but if you don't want that you can just go all the way to the end, but I want to have a little bit showing, so I'll probably stop around here. So I'm on my 3rd last row, or anywhere that you would like your buttons to be. If you do not want buttons, you can skip this step. I'm going to do 4 single crochets, and I will chain 2. Now, depending on the size of your button, you want to make sure that your button will be able to fit through. Actually, this might take 3, so put your button next to it and see how many stitches they take up. This one takes about 3. Chain 3 and then skip 3 and single crochet. And make sure your button can go through. I will have 2 on the side. What you could also do is just have 1 on the side and you do the exact same thing. You would like chain the amount your button takes up and then single crochet the rest. So since I want 2, I'll do another one over here. To know when to start is, since I crocheted 4 and then I did my chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll leave 3 stitches and then I'll stop here and then chain 3 here and then skip 3 and single crochet here. And now I'll just do my last 2 rows and then I will be finished for this panel. I've now finished my second panel with the flap. This flap part took 33 rows. Now we're going to start making a pocket. However, the pocket can be very customizable. You can do granny squares, you can just do a plain piece. I'm going to do with the grids. Once you have finished chaining 20, or the size that you want, I'll do single crochets and I'll chain 1 and do single crochet in the second one. I'll just do it here because I don't mind the pocket stretching and it doesn't really matter. Once you've made it at the end of the row, chain 1, turn and go into your stitch, not the chain. I finish with my 4th row. Going to do 3 single crochets, except for your 3rd, you don't pull over. Get your yarn or your different colour. And with your other colour, insert. And when you're about to change colours, don't pull over. Now I'm going to do 9 single crochets with this colour. On my 9th, you don't pull over and you change the colour. I'm gonna do my 9th one, but I'll change colours. And then change. You can leave that there. Now we're going to do row 6 and do 4 single crochets. However, change colours. Don't pull this too tight. Change colours. And you're going to repeat this. Change colour whenever it's just about to reach that grid. And if you find that it's not big enough, you can always add more rows at the bottom or at the top. For all your pieces, your strap, your first panel and your second panel, you are going to do a border. Now when you are doing a border for your second panel, these lines, where we did the front loop only, this side of the panel faces down. And now to do the border, go into any stitch and pull your yarn through. And once you have pulled it through, chain 1 and just single crochet until the corner. Make sure you go into the corner. And now for the side, these, you just go into every single one of these. And when you're on these sides, you want to single crochet in a bump that's in a dent and a bump that's along here. Dent, bump, dent, bump. For example, just do the first one here. This one might be a little bit tricky. I'll go into the dent, then the bump, then the dent, then the bump, now this will be the same for when you do your second panel. dent, bump, and this part you'll just single crochet in each one of these. Your strap will have dents and bumps, dent, bump, dent, bump. Okay, now we're gonna start by making the bow, and we're gonna make a slip knot. I'm gonna use 2 yarns and the 8 pliers. So if you're using a thinner yarn, you might have to do more rows later on. So I'm going to chain 100. Actually, I'm going to just make a smaller one just as an example, because I've already made a bigger one, but I forgot to record it on camera. But I want you to chain 100. So you're going to do a half double crochet decrease. You start in the second one from your hook. You should have 3, yarn over, now you should have 5, and then pull all 5, and then you're just going to half double crochet all the way till the end until there's 2 stitches left, so you would stop here. I'm now on the last 2 stitches and chain. You should have 3. You should have 5, and pull through all 5. Now what you're going to do is chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to front loop only this whole row. So that means that you insert your hooks into these, not the end one. Front loop means you go on the stitches that are closest to you and do a half double crochet decrease. And then pull through all 5. Then half double crochet, but remember front loop only. It should look like this. It should be like this line here. And do this until you get to the end of the row with 2 stitches left. Chain 1, turn your work, and now this time you're going to do a half double crochet in the back loops. So this means you go into these, not the front, the back ones, the ones that are away from you. You should have 5 on your hook. And then you'll half double crochet in the back loops only until there are 2 stitches left again. So I finished row 3, I did my half double crochet decrease and I chained 1, and as you can see we're creating this slope, just like for this bow there's a slope here. You can keep making more rows, and this means that your bow will go thicker and thicker, which I really like, but I decided to keep it like this. I think I did 4 or 5 rows, but it's up to you how thick you want your bow. But remember that when you do even rows, you'll do the front loop only, the whole row. And when you do odd numbered rows, then you do the back loop only. I forgot to mention that when you finish, you can do single crochets or slip stitches around the border to make your edges nicer, but it's optional. Personally, I didn't do it because I thought my edges were already quite nice. Now to actually make the bow, you fold your piece in half, fold it again, and this is where you sew in the middle. You can put stitch markers to remember where you're sewing. And you can use yarn and a needle and you can just sew right through. Now you can just hide the extra thread. And you can just cut it off. And now you can put the middle here. Make sure the middle, and then use any piece of yarn and you can just make a small little knot at the back. And you can scrunch this just a little bit. And you can just keep rounding it up. And then you are done with your big bow. Now I'm going to make a little piece that just goes around here. You want it to stop here and here, just enough for it to cover around here. You don't want it to go all around, just here to here. I did 10 chains, chain extra 1, and I'm just going to do single crochets from the second one. We'll chain 1, and I'm just going to flip it and do another row of single crochets. Make sure you leave a tail. Now I cut it so then you have a long tail. So then you can go around, and we'll save this for later. You should now have all your pieces, the small little part to your bow, your side strap, and then your strap and your main 2 pieces. Now if you do want lining, this would be the best time to measure all your pieces so then you can create the perfect lining for your bag. Now there's a few ways you can do this, but first of all I'm just going to pin it in place so I know where I want it. So I've pinned in place. It was hard to do on camera, but if you know how to surface crochet, there is a way, but it's way too hard on camera to do it, so I'm just going to get a needle and yarn, and I'll just start sewing the outside, and I'm going to do it just along the border. It's a bit hard to show what I'm doing, but I just kind of check where it's coming from. And I'm just going to do that all around the border. And you're just going to do that all around till you reach here. So then you have this cute little pocket. Finished doing the pocket. Now I did do a little bit of pink so up here, but I didn't sew onto the panel. We now are going to move onto the strap. And there are some options here because you can single crochet or slip stitch around here so it sticks out, or you could do it this way, a slip stitch or single crochet, so then when you flip it the other way it will kind of look like it's inside. I'll try to show an example. Now I did so small, so this is where I single crochet at the side, and then when you flip it you can see it's like this. This is from me just taking the front loops only, and so it made this kind of pattern, though I don't think it's as strong as if you just single crocheted both, but that's what it would look like. So you can see it's like a little bit curved. And then I did this part, which this is single crocheting, down here slip stitching. So if you do it from the outside, for example, you're doing single crocheting or slip stitching along here, it will create like this point along the border, so this will sink a little bit in. Whereas if you single crochet at the back, so what you would be doing is going like this, and then at the end you would flip it. What I will be doing is slip stitching from the outside. So what you want to do is insert your hook in the corner and into this corner. I'm just going to use one single colour. And just insert your hook. And you just want to do this all around until it's connected. See, if you do end up missing a few stitches and you end up with like too much at the end, and insert and then go into this hole, but then go in the same hole that you just did the slip stitch in, and then it just means that there's less of these holes. Or if it's the other way around, you can, for example, you go into this one, slip stitch, but then go back into the exact same hole that you just in. We're going to the next one. That can make it so then there's one less stitch, and you just do that throughout, so then it ends up being even. Once you're finished doing all around here slip stitching, then you can do it on your second panel until it is all stuck together. Now we're going to be doing the strap. So what you want to do is put your strap through here. So you can like slip stitch or single crochet using this, your extra tail, and slip stitch together, but I think I will just use a needle for this. And I might just do this a few times so then it will be really strong. Now I've finished doing that, we can now do the buttons if you were someone that chose to do that. So you want to make sure that the part that kind of folds, this little line, just make sure that stays there, and then you see where this goes, like where it ends. So it's around like this line. So I decided that my buttons are going to go here, and you want to make sure that when you close this, you are able to see where the button will be. And remember to make sure that the fold is just on here. And you can sew your button with a needle, thread, or some yarn. So what you want to do with your bow is you just cut off any loose pieces. Choose how far up or down you want your bow. I want it to be about here. And with this piece, you want the end piece, and just put it through the middle. Same with the other side. You just want it to be ending in the middle. I want it to be about here for one side. Put the bow there. And just pick the one up from your stitch and get this other piece. Pull it and just even it out. And all you have to do is just tie a knot. You can use other yarn or maybe some thread and just make sure it's sewn down. I'm also going to sew a little bit just here because I like my bow to be a bit more pinched right here, and I might just use some thread and just sew like a little bit like around the edges so it doesn't flop around. We are all done. The last thing that I just made was the same bow but just a smaller one, and what I did was make the exact same as this but just chain less, and I did less rows, and then I just did one chain and it worked. Oh, and what I wanted to say was, see, I sewed it down so this all around here is all sewn down, but these parts I like to leave a little bit flappy. And here's the back. See, I did really little stitches, but I accidentally did 2 mistakes here, but you can't really see them if you use thread.